men, we have more authority than we really ever imagined. Not just physical authority because we're bigger and stronger and more physically capable in a myriad of different ways, but also spiritually. We have spiritual authority over our wives and in our homes. That's hard for most people to even, much less women to receive that and hear that without cringing. For men to say, you know what? That's great. That's true. That's amazing. I'm going to step into that. We've been convinced that that's not the case. And in many instances, I know I've been in the place where I almost feel like I don't deserve that authority. I almost feel like, like when people play small, you ever I remember there's kids in high school and I see them sometimes, even like big kids. Like when I say big kids, that means like kids, like boys, usually boys that tower over like all the other boys and the girls. You ever notice these like big kids in high school, right? Like everybody else is like 5'8" and he's like 6'4". A lot of times these people, and that, regardless if you like this or not, tall people carry an authority just because they're over you. You may not like the way that sounds, and it doesn't mean that it's always the case, especially if you have somebody whose character is big and powerful like a Napoleon, but just by mere virtue of somebody towering over you, they're over you. They're over you. He's over you. It's a deep psychological thing. It's not like we're consciously passing our authority over to that person that's taller. It's just like, he's above me. So you see this often, and I'm just drawing this analogy of people who don't understand or can't receive their authority, can't stand in their authority. You see these big kids who they're really big, but they're the biggest softies. You ever see these kids? Like they're really big and they almost want to bring themselves down so that they don't have to have that authority. I see this with tall boys all the time. Usually a lot of tall girls too. They want to bring themselves down and they're almost too soft. They talk really soft. They're really apologetic. They're almost like apologizing for their grandness. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of times the way that we as men, once we hear a message like I'm sharing with you right now, almost cower and pull away from. What do you mean? Why should I have that authority? Well, it's a God-given authority. It's a God-given authority from the beginning, in the beginning. This is the Genesis. That's what Genesis means, right? Genesis means to begin. To generate is to create. The Genesis is the beginning. And in the beginning, when God created them, man and woman, he established Adam as the head and Eve as the heart. One is not better than the other, but one leads the other, just like the head should lead your heart. If you let your heart run wild, you're going to make all types of crazy emotional mistakes in your life. This is the same thing with men and women. Men are the head.